Okay, let's go. Applying to medical school can be such an uncertain time and it can be quite scary. I remember when I was applying to medical school, I used to really enjoy watching videos around people's journeys and different experiences with the application process. So I thought I'd make one. If you're new here, my name's Amelia and I am now a second year medical student. Some people get 4 straight interviews for medical school and 4 straight offers for medical school, which is really great. However, the reality is some people don't, and that is absolutely fine too. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about everything I did to get into medical school, and we're going to be talking academic work, personal statement, interviews, UCAT, work experience. I don't know if I've got them all, but that kind of gist, what I did, what I got, and what I would probably do differently next time. Just for reference, I do have a video on my channel based around my journey into medical school and the 7 rejections involved in it. So if that is something you're interested in, have a look at that after this one. I will link it at the end. So we'll talk academics first. So we'll go right to the start, so like GCSEs, A-levels kind of thing. Just very quickly, for my GCSEs, I did the normal core subjects that you can expect to do in the UK. I'm just going to read off because I feel like I will remember it quicker. Maths, English Lit, English Language, Welsh, Science, Religious Studies was also compulsory at my school. For my options, I took History, I took Triple Science. Really weird at my school, but we did Science and then we could take Triple Science, which meant that we got 2 extra GCSEs. It was really confusing. So I went to a Welsh school, so I had to do Welsh and Welsh BAT, which was compulsory. Altogether, I got 6 A's, 2 A stars, 1 B and 2 distinction stars. Obviously, I was quite happy with my grades, but not straight A stars. So like myth busting, you do not need straight A stars to get into medical school. Then in terms of A levels, I did biology, chemistry, physics and maths. So I did those 4 to start with. I liked mechanics and physics, but I didn't like the physics, so I ended up dropping physics after a year. Because I went to school in Wales, I'm not sure how the English schools work. We could trade in our A level for like an AS level, so it's like half an A level. So altogether I got basically 2 A's and 1 A star at A level and then 1 A at AS level. Sciences really did help me at the start of med school, and they definitely, like, don't underestimate that you do need them. However, going back, I think maybe it would have actually been beneficial to do a essay-based subject, maybe like 1 essay-based subject at A level. We write a lot of essays in med school, and I actually did not know how to reference until 2nd term, and like everyone just knew how to reference, and I had never written an essay before. So do not underestimate an essay-based subject because it will help a lot. You do actually have to write essays at med school. So that's my academic journey and what I got to get into medical school. Let's move on to the dreaded UCAT. Some people thrive from the UCAT, some people really don't thrive, like me, but the common thing is everybody dislikes it. So I sat the UCAT twice because obviously the first year I didn't get in and then I got in the 2nd year I applied, but unfortunately they don't carry over the scores, so you have to sit the UCAT every single year you apply. So the UCAT is only valid for the year of application. So in the first year I got 2,450 in the UCAT and I got band 2 in my SJT. And then the 2nd year I got 2,550 and I got band 2 in my SJT again. I don't actually remember what I got in the separate subsections, but I do remember that quantitative reasoning and abstract reasoning were my best sections, and the other 2 were like a no-go zone. Verbal reasoning for me, no. I know like my scores aren't particularly good scores, but they got me in, so they did the trick, and that is literally all that matters. UCAT does not matter after you've got in, so do not get too hung up on your scores. In terms of what I did to prepare for the UCAT, I basically just went over techniques of tackling separate questions and then practice. Like the more practice you can do, the better. It's all about practicing and gaining skills and getting better at the skills that the UCAT is testing. So my biggest advice to you is give yourself as much time and practice as much as possible. I think I used online question bank, and specifically I used Med Entry. I think that's what it's called, and it was a paid subscription. Let's just say this is not an ad at all, just what I used, and it's basically just a bank of UCAT questions that you can practice with, and it like tracks how you're doing compared to other people and like loads of stuff I can't really remember, but that's what I used for my UCAT preparation. Okay, next step is personal statement. So you know, like I said, I didn't do an essay subject. I really struggled writing my personal statement. I just don't like long extended pieces of writing. and a long extended piece of writing about yourself is even worse. One funny story about the personal statement is I had my personal statement all done, all submitted. My head of year had checked it over, I'd had teachers checked it over, and like it was ready to go. The day before the deadline, right, I think Med is an early deadline at the 15th-ish, make sure you check, of October, my head of year emailed me and she was like, Amelia, you need to like rewrite your personal statement. I've just had a look at it after looking at the other medical personal statements and it's not it. In a nutshell, that's basically what she said. So the day before the deadline, they pulled me out of lessons to rewrite my personal statement. As a non-essay subject writer, that was not ideal. Moral of the story, make sure you keep checking over your personal statement and get as many people to look at it as possible. I think my personal statement was much better the second year, purely for the fact that I got so many people to check over my personal statement. The more eyes you can get on it, the better. You're not going to be able to please everyone because everyone's going to have conflicting opinions on what makes a good personal statement. But get as many people to read it as you can and then go with like the ideas that you like the most. Another thing in your personal statement which is really important, and I now know but I didn't know at the time, is to reflect. Make sure you are making points throughout and then you are reflecting on what you've learned and what it has taught you and how it has inspired you further. Like they love reflection, medical schools love it, so make sure you do that. Next up, work experience. This is actually something that I really enjoyed. Like I went into medicine for like the actual hands-on doing medicine, so gaining experience for medicine I really enjoyed. So by far my biggest teaching of work experience and what has taught me the most is my work experience in a care home. So because I decided I wanted to be a doctor throughout COVID, which I talk about in my journey into medicine video, I basically had to gain my experience during COVID, which was impossible. So I applied for a job in a care home and I got my experience that way, and I really enjoyed my time at the care home and I actually still work there now. Like I really enjoy it. It taught me so much. Also, I would say on placement, medical students are most awkward around elderly people, and I would say elderly people are the group of people I feel most comfortable interacting with. So that's definitely a benefit from working with elderly people for all these years. My second work experience I gained was I did a week in a GP clinic and I sat in on a few sexual health clinics as well. So I saw like smear tests, I saw like contraceptive talks, follow-ups, and like a lot of vaccinations and just general injuries as well. It's definitely very valuable, but it wasn't an essential. Like you don't have to have direct medical experience. You can just do whatever you can. Like medical schools definitely understand that people have access to different forms of work experience. Obviously, if you have relatives who are doctors, it's going to be a lot easier to have access to connections and direct medical work experience as opposed to if you're from a non-medical family, and medical schools definitely understand that, so do not stress about it too much. My next form of work experience was I did the Brighton and Sussex Medical School work experience, like the online thing. I think a lot of people do that. A lot of people know about it, but if you don't, that could be one to do as well. And lastly, I just read medical books, and they are things that I mentioned in my personal statement as well. So it's always a good idea to try and get your work experience done before you write your personal statement, but like you can do stuff after as well because you can talk about it in your interview. Leading on from that is your interview. So my biggest tip for the interview is to prepare. That sounds so obvious, but you would not believe the amount of people who think, oh, once I've got an interview, I'm basically there, because like I was that person as well. And I think that's why I didn't get in the first year round, because I like really underprepared for the one interview I got. So the first year round I got 3 rejections straight up, and then I got 1 interview for Liverpool Medical School, and then I got rejected from them. And then the second year round I got 3 rejections again, and then I got an interview for Hull York Medical School, and that is where I am studying now. So as I said, I definitely prepared a lot more for my second interview compared to my first one. I get asked on how to prepare for interviews. Like I am going to do some videos in the coming weeks on interview prep, but I would say to search up kind of what questions you are expected to be asked, and not like script out answers, but maybe bullet point things you might mention if you're asked things, or like just might mention in general. But the biggest tip would be to practice. You need to like practice being able to answer questions on the spot, because in an interview you can get asked literally anything and you can prepare all you like, but you might get a question you are not prepared for. So practicing on building the skills of being able to answer questions, I would say for me, is the most important thing. Practice on building the skills to be able to answer questions on the spot, basically. And that's what I did, and that is my journey into medical school. That is everything I did to get into medical school. I don't think I did anything else. That is literally everything I did that got me my place into medical school, but also 7 rejections. So in total 7 rejections, 1 acceptance, but I'm here now and in my 2nd year. So if I have learned anything from that whole journey over the past few years into medical school, it would be things literally happen when you least expect it. Like when I got my acceptance into medical school, I was planning my 2nd gap year because I was so set on the fact that I was not going to get my place. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do another gap year, and then next minute I got my acceptance. So do not give up hope. Things literally happen when you are least expecting it. And then secondly, your journey into medical school does not define how well you're going to do, how good of a doctor you're going to be, how good of a medical student you're going to be. Like, it literally does not define that at all. I would say I had a pretty tough journey into medical school. I didn't get in straight away. I had so many rejections, but I'm here now. I passed all my exams, touch wood, so far, and like I'm really enjoying it. So it definitely doesn't define how well you're going to do or how good of a doctor you're going to be. So do not think that. It's just perseverance. Try some more. So yeah, hope that has been helpful. That was my journey in a nutshell. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have enjoyed it, I would really love it if you would like and comment down below and subscribe to my channel. Thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next one.